The Chicago Bears are really struggling right now. Their offense just isn't clicking.
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
They've lost their last 3 games in a row.
Yeah, and haven't scored more than 15 points in any of them.
It's gotten so bad that even Keenan Allen, their star wide receiver, is publicly expressing his frustration.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was brought in to be a difference maker. But things haven't exactly panned out the way anyone expected.
For sure. I mean, the Bears are averaging just 12 points over their last 3 games.
Oof.
Their offense is ranked near the bottom of the league in pretty much every major category.
It's got to be concerning for the team, especially for a guy like Keenan Allen. I mean, he's known for being a pretty even-keeled guy.
Yeah.
And for him to publicly admit he's not sure how to fix the offense, that really says something.
Yeah, I think it definitely reveals a sense of urgency and maybe even a little bit of desperation.
Yeah.
He's a veteran player. He's been on successful teams. He knows what a good offense is supposed to look like. The fact that he's at a loss for what to do, it suggests there might be deeper issues at play here.
Let's dive into some of the specifics of their struggles. They're averaging only 277.7 yards per game. That puts them at 30th in the league. What does that tell us about their overall performance?
Well, it's a clear indication they're having trouble moving the ball, struggling in both the running and passing. And when you can't get a consistent ground attack going, it just puts that much more pressure on your young quarterback.
Caleb Williams.
Exactly.
So how has he been performing amidst all this chaos?
He's had his moments, shown flashes of brilliance, but he's also made some rookie mistakes, which, to be fair, is to be expected.
Of course.
He's clearly a talented player, but he needs a stable system. He needs consistent coaching to really reach his full potential.
And speaking of coaching, the Bears just fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron.
Right.
And they brought in Thomas Brown. How do you think this change, especially mid-season, will affect Williams' development?
It's tough to say. It could be disruptive, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it could also be a chance for a fresh start. A chance to kind of hit the reset button.
It's definitely a gamble.
Yeah.
But what are some of the key things Brown needs to address if he wants to turn this offense around?
Well, the most pressing issue is the offensive line.
Like?
They've got to improve their performance. They've been struggling to protect Williams, which has really messed with the timing of their passing plays, and it's limited their ability to run the ball effectively.
Right.
He also needs to find a way to get Keenan Allen more involved.
He's been pretty quiet this season, yeah.
Yeah, he's a proven playmaker.
So what are some strategies Brown could use to maximize Allen's impact?
One approach would be to design plays that allow Allen to operate in space.
Okay.
He's great at creating separation from defenders,
Yeah.
making catches in traffic. Brown could also utilize him on shorter routes, get him the ball quickly, and let him use his run-after-catch ability.
Right, use his strengths.
Exactly. Another key to unlocking this offense, play-action passes.
Oh, yeah, play action. How would that help?
Well, if you fake a handoff to the running back, it forces the defense to hesitate for a second.
Okay.
And that can create those openings downfield for receivers to get open.
And with a receiver like Keenan Allen who can really exploit those openings, it seems like a no-brainer.
Exactly. Plus, if they can establish a credible running game,
Yeah.
the play action becomes even more effective. Defenses can't just key in on the pass then.
It's a tough road ahead for the Bears.
Yeah.
And they're sitting at 4-5 right now.
Right.
The NFC North is really competitive.
It is.
So their playoff chances are, well, let's just say they're not looking great.
Yeah.
At this point, do you think it's more important for them to focus on developing their young players? Even if it means sacrificing wins in the short term?
That's a tough question. I mean, obviously making the playoffs is always the goal. But sometimes you need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And especially when you have a young quarterback with as much potential as Caleb Williams, sometimes it's more beneficial to prioritize his development.
So a lot is riding on Thomas Brown's shoulders right now.
Definitely.
He's a young coach, reputation for being innovative, adaptable, but he's stepping into a very difficult situation. What are going to be his biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest one is instilling confidence in a unit that's been struggling.
Yeah.
He needs to come in, quickly assess the strengths and weaknesses of his personnel,
Right.
tailor the game plan accordingly.
Okay.
He also needs to establish a clear offensive identity, something that's been missing.
So what are some realistic expectations for the rest of the season? Do you think Brown can make a real impact, or are we going to see more of the same struggles?
Well, I don't think we're going to see a dramatic turnaround. It takes time for a new system to take hold, especially mid-season. But I think we could start to see signs of improvement, maybe in the play calling, player utilization, those kinds of things.
This Sunday's game against the Vikings will be his first real test.
Oh, yeah. tough first game.
What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
It's going to be a challenge. The Vikings have a really strong defense. I'm curious to see how Brown adjusts the game plan to counter their strengths. Can he find a way to get Keenan Allen involved? Can he create opportunities for Williams to make plays? Those are the things I'll be watching for.
It'll be interesting to see how they perform, if they can turn things around.
For sure.
Or if there are deeper issues within the organization.
Yeah, it's not just about X's and O's.
Right.
It's about leadership, player development, team chemistry.
So many factors.
Exactly. It's a complex situation, no easy answers. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
The Bears seem to be at a real crossroads here.
Yeah.
Do they try to win now or do they focus on the future? What do you think they should do?
Well, it's tough. I mean, you've got a veteran in Allen who's nearing the end of his career.
All right.
But you've also got this young quarterback in Williams who needs the experience. It's a tricky situation for the coaches and the front office.
Yeah. So what are the benefits and risks of going the development route, instead of trying to win right away?
Well, the main benefit is that it gives your younger players, like Williams, that valuable playing time.
Right.
And that can really help them reach their potential. But the risk is obviously you might lose more in the short term.
Yeah.
And that could affect team morale, even the coach's job security.
It's all connected. So given how much this offense is struggling, do you think a complete overhaul is needed? Or are there just specific areas they need to work on?
I think it's more realistic to focus on those key weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've said, the offensive line has to get better.
Right.
And they've got to figure out how to run the ball consistently. If they can improve in those areas, it'll make a huge difference.
Speaking of making a difference, how much of an impact can a new offensive coordinator have? Not just on the offense itself, but on the team's culture, overall performance.
It can be significant. They bring in fresh ideas, a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That can really energize the players. And they can also bring a new level of accountability, discipline. But you have to remember, the coordinator is just one part of it.
Of course.
The players have to buy in. The head coach has to support them.
So do you think the Bears even have the right players to turn things around?
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to have to go out and get some new guys in the offseason?
They've got some good pieces, Williams, Allen.
Yeah.
But they definitely need to address that offensive line, and it wouldn't hurt to have more depth at receiver, running back.
So it's going to be a busy offseason for the Bears.
Yeah, it should be. Lots of decisions to make.
And the moves they make, the direction they go in, it's going to have a huge impact on their future.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what they do, how they approach the draft.
Yeah, the Bears have a lot of potential, but they've got to make the right choices to really unlock it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's been a wild ride for them so far, that's for sure. We'll have to wait and see what the rest of the season holds.
For sure.
Goodbye. See you in the next video.